Hey everyone, it's your girl Layla. Welcome back to my channel. Okay guys, so today we are going to be doing another episode of Spooktober. I can't believe October is like halfway done already. Well, we're more than halfway done October, but we're exactly halfway done Spooktober. I still have 2 episodes left to do. I am not sure what I'm going to do for either of them, so I can't even give you guys like a preview or anything like that. But in today's video, we are going to be talking about my very first episode in Saskatchewan. I've never been to Saskatchewan before. I went for the first time this summer, and of course I had to visit one of the most haunted places in Saskatchewan. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the Hopkin'S Diner Parlor located in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. If you guys are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And as you guys know, for October, all of my Wednesday videos are going to be spooky. So if you like creepy places, haunted places, local haunts that you yourself could visit, definitely stay tuned for my Wednesday episodes. So let's get right into this one. So like I mentioned, this house is located in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. It was built in 1905 for one of its residents named Edward Nicholas Hopkins. He was one of the first residents of Moose Jaw, and he was very well known in his community, including being part of the parliament there. So this house was basically built for him and his wife to live in. They just recently got married, and he basically built this house for his wife, Minnie. The home features a classical Riviera style architecture, which was very popular at this point in time. And the house also features Victorian decor with a lot of antiques, including up to present day. So in 1979, this beautiful home, this beautiful historic site was converted into a restaurant, and that is the Hopkin'S Dining Parlor that it is today. This is a beautiful spot in Moose Jaw. If you guys are in the area or you're nearby or don't mind the drive, it is so worth it. Including its amazing food, which, the food is literally chef's kiss. The food was great. Including the food, this house is also one of the most active paranormal places in Moose Jaw or in Saskatchewan in general. As I mentioned, this home was built for Edward Hopkins' wife, Minnie. And Minnie absolutely adored her home. She loved it so much that even when she died, her funeral was actually held in the home, and she's said to have never left. Minnie is one of the main ghosts that haunt the Hopkin'S Dining Parlor. I believe there's at least 3 ghosts that haunt the Hopkin'S Dining Parlor, but Minnie is definitely the most active. One of the most common ways people have experienced Minnie, including the Hopkin'S Diner Parlor's owner, Gladdy, they've heard footsteps. They've heard footsteps go up and down the stairs, as well as people report seeing her in the washroom, which we'll get to later on in the video. But all of those things are said to be Minnie herself. And if you're lucky enough, Minnie will actually serenade you. There is a piano located in the Hopkin'S Diner, and it is heard by guests from time to time. It's said to be Minnie that's playing it. Now let's get into some ghostly encounters people have experienced at the Hopkin'S Diner. The first one happened one night when the last guest left the Hopkin'S Dining Parlor. So the employees were just sorting everything out, getting through their closing duties right before their closing chores and all of that, when one of them turned off the lights to leave for the night. And then all of a sudden, a candle had started illuminating the room, like someone lit a candle. The candle was sitting on a table in the middle of the room, and then all of a sudden, all the lights turned back on. And one of the employees saw Mrs. Hopkins, or Minnie, standing right beside the candle. One of the staff members, Brenda, who's had plenty of paranormal experiences working at the Hopkin'S Dining Parlor, was using the downstairs washroom. She was all alone, and she went to wash her hands when she felt like there was someone behind her. So she looked up, looked into the mirror, and there was an old lady standing behind her. Terrified, Brenda ran out of the washroom. Now, it is not uncommon for guests even to have paranormal experiences in the women's washroom. The women's washroom is said to be one of the most haunted places in the Hopkin's dining parlor, and the ghost that haunts the washroom is, of course, as you guessed it, Minnie or Mrs. Hopkins. So one of the guests was in one of the stalls in the washroom completely alone when she heard footsteps coming toward her. And then all of a sudden the temperature completely dropped. She got very cold, and she joked to the person that was outside that it's really cold in there, hey? The person never answered, and then when she exited the stall, there was no one around. Minnie isn't always seen by guests of the restaurant or of staff of the restaurant, but she's also seen by people walking outside. Say you're going on a late night stroll in the middle of Moose Jaw, you're walking around and you look up randomly into the Hopkin's dining parlor's window, specifically the window on the 3rd floor. There can be an old lady spotted up there with a Cocker Spaniel in her hand, which is said to be Minnie's beloved Cocker Spaniel. While Minnie is arguably the most active entity here at the Hopkin's dining parlor, she isn't the only one. However, she does love doing things like banging on doors, levitating candles, and throwing food around. She isn't the only ghost that haunts the Hopkin's dining parlor. Staff have also reported seeing a man wandering the downstairs part of the dining parlor, and when they looked at him, he was in just, you know, the old style periodic clothing from the early 1900s. They looked at where he was going, and then suddenly he just disappears. So this apparition is said to be, of course, Edward Hopkins himself. One night, a spirit actually scared a bunch of the staff members because they rearranged all of the utensils in a shape of a crucifix near the stairs. They didn't see the spirit, they didn't know who it was, whether it was Minnie, Edward, or someone else, but they were terrified because all of the utensils made a cross on the stairs. One worker that was working around the basement one time saw a phantom lady ghost. A phantom meaning she had no face and she was just floating around. And he did not know any of the history of the Hopkin's dining parlor. He didn't know it was haunted. He didn't know by whom, but he saw this entity down in the basement. So all in all, is the Hopkin's dining parlor worth it? It 100% is. If you like the creepy places like I do, if you like just going out to these really cool historic sites and having food, even if you don't believe in the paranormal at all, the Hopkin's dining parlor is an amazing spot to go to in Moose Jaw. If you go to Moose Jaw, it is 100% worth going there, even just for the food. The food is absolutely amazing. I was recommended, I believe it was a burger by one of the staff members that was working that day, and I absolutely loved it. She let us tour the whole house as we were waiting for the food, so I got some really cool shots in there, and I do hope you guys enjoy the tour. I'll just include that right now. guys enjoyed this episode of Spooktober. I really enjoyed filming it for you. I really do love going to these spooky locations for you guys, especially if I can actually go inside them and have a meal or something. Like this location, haunted restaurants are my absolute favorite. I love haunted pubs. I love haunted restaurants. The food is always really good. I haven't had a bad experience with food. And of course, you have a chance of seeing the paranormal while you're there. So all in all, win-win situation for me. So that is all for this episode. I do hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you are not already subscribed, please go ahead, click that subscribe button below. I upload 3 times a week, Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday, and like I mentioned, all of these spooky episodes are going to be for the month of October every Wednesday. I'll see you guys soon with a new video. Bye.